Great Scott! Great Scott!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with the beautiful Karina Ross, newly married to me, Diego, and we went through the K1 visa process just like you guys are going through it or are about to commence the K1 visa process. And I've made videos for you for free to explain to you how to do the K1 visa process from A to Z. Okay? You just got to look through the videos. Now this video, when you get to the United States of America, I strongly recommend that you get a new medical exam completed by a civil surgeon who is approved by the U.S. government, by the State Department in your city. Okay? Because when you apply for the green card, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you must include Form I-693 in your green card package. That's your immigration, vaccination, and medical exam. Okay? You must include it. If you don't include that sealed envelope with a medical exam, Form I-693, you will get an RFE from immigration asking you for that document, which will slow down your green card processing probably by 2 or 3 months, possibly. Now, as part of that requirement, if you are in a foreign country, let's suppose you're in the Philippines, you're in Peru, you're in Colombia, and you don't get all the vaccinations done as required by immigration. Let's suppose you don't get them all done. Okay, no big deal. You can get the vaccinations done in the United States of America. It's going to cost twice as much money to get them done here. It's cheaper to get the vaccinations done in your home country. Like Karina was in Colombia. She got all her vaccinations in Colombia. It was much more economical to do that. But if you don't get them done, okay, get them done in the USA. This is a list of the vaccinations at a minimum you must have to get your green card. So come on along and I'll give you the list, okay? Let's keep it simple. Now, all vaccinations, you got to have vaccinations to get your green card. I know vaccinations are not the most exciting thing in the world to do, and you don't want to get them, but you got to have them, okay? Now, all vaccinations have to be current. They have to be up to date with the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, okay? The CDC works for the President of the United States, whoever that president is. Now, vaccination requirements. If you are a new baby all the way through, an adult, you got to have vaccinations. So, vaccination requirements, 18 years of age and younger, they all have to be current and up to date, also with the CDC. But let's go over the vaccination list. These are the minimum vaccinations you got to have for your green card. You got to be vaccinated for measles, mumps, which is and rubella. So that's the MMR vaccination, okay? From age 0 to 59 years of age. If you are older than 59, if you're 59 or older, you don't need that, okay? It's not required also if you were born before 1956 or if you're 60 years age or older. So if you're 60 or older, you don't have to get that vaccination. If you are a beneficiary applying for a green card, you don't need it if you can prove a vaccination from your home country. So if you're in Colombia and you got the MMR vaccination and you can prove it, then you can scratch that off the list. You just got to prove it. You just got to show it to the doctor, the civil surgeon. And 2 doses are required of the MMR. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an immigration attorney. Okay? I don't give you any medical advice or legal advice. I'm just telling you what I know from experience. Okay? If you have ever lived in Illinois, okay? If you've lived in Illinois in the last 6 months, as a beneficiary, then 3 doses of the MMR vaccine are required. Why is that? I have no idea. But that's if you live in Illinois. So if you have a newborn baby up to age 59 years of age, and you're going through this, you will need the varicella VZV vaccination. Okay? But only if you are a newborn up to age 59. If you are 60 or older, then it's not. You don't require this. Then you get the shingles shot. Okay. Now this vaccination is not required if you can prove on an official record. If you have an official record that you had chicken pox when you were a kid, when you were younger, a letter written by a family member, by your grandmother, your grandfather in your home country, or wherever it is, or parents or your aunt or uncle can write a letter, an affidavit to say you had chicken pox, okay, with the date, then you don't need the VZV vaccination, okay? If you are 60 years or older, you're going to require the shingles vaccination, okay, instead of the VZV. This is if you are a beneficiary applying for a green card. You need the tetanus DTaP, excuse me, the tetanus DTaP vaccination. If you haven't had one of these in the last 10 years, you got to have one. And only Tdap will be accepted, and 3 doses are required, so you got to start a series of 3 for tetanus. Okay, now that shot hurts, ladies and gentlemen. If it's current for flu, if it's the flu season, you know, you can get a flu shot. You need to get a flu shot. The flu mist nasal spray is not acceptable, and it's between October 1st and April 1st. That's when you need a flu shot. And then you must have the pneumococcal vaccine PZV13 or PPSV23, whatever that is. And that's required if you are 65 years of age or older. So if you are a beneficiary applying for a green card and you are older than 65, if you're 65 or older, okay, then you got to have the pneumococcal vaccine. And I'll put it right here because I can't pronounce that word. Okay, it's a medical word. Now, you're going to need the hepatitis B series from if you are a newborn baby up to age 59 years of age and you're applying for a green card, you got to have the Hep B series, okay? And there are 3 shots, 3 vaccinations. It's a series of 3 that you must have. If you're aged between the age of 11 and 18 years of age and you are applying for a green card, you're going to need the meningococcal vaccination. The meningococcal. I'm going to put that right here because I can't even say that word, okay? If you are between the age of 11 and 18 years of age, okay? You got to have that shot. You got to have proof of a polio IPV vaccination. Now it's not polo, it's not the game on a horse where you hit a thing. It's polio, okay? It's required from age 2 months to 17 years of age. And you got to have at least one of those vaccinations. You got to have evidence of at least one of those vaccinations, okay? This is for your green card. COVID-19. Now, COVID, I don't know if you've ever had COVID. I've never had it. So, like I said, I've never had COVID. But it's a requirement at this moment in January of 2024. As of right now, you got to have proof of a COVID vaccination. You got to have either 1 dose of Moderna or 1 dose of Pfizer, okay? And the Moderna dose is required if you're 6 years of age or older, and the Pfizer is required if you are 5 years of age or older. So if you are, younger than 6 years old or younger than 5 years old, then you don't need to get a COVID shot. That's for the kids. Now, blood work and urine work, okay? They're going to require at the physical, when you're in your home country, they're going to do an RPR blood test on you, and it's got to be completed within the last 12 months. If you don't, when you get to the United States, you're going to have to repeat this to get your 693 form. It's an RPR blood test, and it's between ages of 18 to 45, okay? It's not required if you can prove on an official record in the United States that you have had a negative test in the last year, okay? You got to have the NAAT gonorrhea and chlamydia test, okay, in the last 12 months, and that's for people aged 18 to 24, okay? So that's an NAAT test, okay, required in the past year, age 18 to 24. And you got to have a TB test if you are age 2 or older, okay? Got to have a TB test. The test that's used for tuberculosis is the quantiferon gold or T-spot blood test. It's got to be completed within the last 12 months. A PPD skin test, they do a thing on your skin and they wait for a reaction. It's not accepted by immigration. It's got to be done in the last 12 months. You got to be 2 years of old or older. Under age 14, the test has to be performed by a pediatrician. And if the test comes back positive, you got to have a chest x-ray. Now, no doubt you probably had a chest x-ray in your country of origin. But all these tests are going to be required to be documented on the I-693, which has to be included in your green card application. So now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now if you are a patient, if you are a green card, if you're applying for your green card and you are pregnant, you got a baby, you got a bun in the oven, okay, you're cooking a baby, making a new baby, you got to have a letter from your OB/GYN, and whatever that stands for is like OB, it's to do with the doctor for moms with babies. You got to have a letter from your OB/GYN that states which vaccines you can and cannot have. That comes from a letter from the OB/GYN, okay? And you give all this information to the civil surgeon at the doctor's office in the United States of America, and then the civil surgeon will fill out the form I-693. If you need a translator, then you're going to put the translator's name on the I-693. The doctor will sign it, the translator will sign it, and then he will put it in a sealed envelope stamped with a sticky thing on the back, and on the front it's going to say, to U.S. Homeland Security only, do not open. Okay? And then you include that sealed letter of your medical exam with your green card application, and then you will get your green card without any problems. Ask the doctor, the civil surgeon in the United States, when they complete the medical exam, to give you a copy of the medical exam in case immigration lose the one you send them in the sealed envelope. Then you got a backup. We do the live stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. Karina's sitting here with me. Mrs. Karina Ross, the newlyweds. We are newlyweds. We both went through the K-1 visa process like you guys successfully. And here we are in Florida, happy as a clam, making videos for you. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and we will see you at the live stream where I give you free information on how to process a K-1 visa or a spousal visa. You can't beat it.
I'll be back.